interesting thing. Now, you guys have probably heard me talking about SUI, however you want to pronounce it, SUI. I think it's SUI. And at least from the way everybody else says it. Okay. All right. Let me know in the comments if it's right. I'm sure it's probably wrong. But here's the deal. Okay. They announced the SUI Play OX1. Now, I'm actually a huge fan of the Steam Deck. I've been utilizing it for a while now. This is a competitor to the Steam Deck that would allow you to potentially own the rights to your game via the SUI blockchain, which is really interesting. So here's the device. There is a film. I guess we can play it. Let's see it. Let me turn it down. So apparently there's going to be game exclusives on it, but you will be able to own your assets and your avatars via the blockchain, which is interesting. The device looks very similar to the Steam Deck. Here's a few bad things about it. There's no haptic feedback the touch pads. It's missing those. I don't know what operating system it's going to run. Some form of Linux. Will you have access to your other game libraries? That's yet to be seen. It does say that it will have seamless Steam integration. So I assume some sort of Steam OS variant with exclusive storefront for SUI games. That could be really cool. Now, Steam OS, here's the thing, just so everybody's aware, Steam OS is completely going open. So they don't have to work with Steam or Valve directly to gain access to Steam OS anymore. So just because it's Steam OS capable doesn't mean that it was like in collaboration with Valve, right? The pre-order is $5.99. So if you guys want to help me get this for review, you can go over and support on sonofatech.locals.com. All funds from sonofatech.locals.com go for products reviewed on the channel. Anyways, it's going to have a 7-inch IPS screen. Already kind of disappointing if you compare that to the OLED screen on the latest Steam Deck. It is technically better than the LCD version of the Steam Deck. I own both. The OLED is a significantly better experience, especially in the types of on-the-go play you are doing with the Steam Deck. The anti-glare is a lifesaver. So big disappointment as far as that goes. It's got 16 gigabytes of DDR5X, specifically the LP5 version. Now it's going to be shared memory across the whole board. If we take a look at the OLED at $549, the 512 gigabyte version, which would be probably direct comparison to that, I believe it was, where's the full specs? Where's the tech specs? I don't care about anything else. 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5. So we're getting LPDDR5X. So we are getting better memory, potentially better at mining, which is cool. And then let's go over the rest of these. So the battery is a 48 watt to 50 watt hour, 65 watt PD charge. I believe what's the Steam Deck is at, they got that listed here. I looked over this earlier, but then I feel like I always lose it on live stream. It's the pressure. Yeah, it's the same battery. Size. The resolution is going to be higher than that of the Steam Deck with 1920 by 1200. Honestly, at that screen size, it's better to go with a lower resolution for higher frame rates, in my humble opinion. So it doesn't also say what the refresh rate will be. We know the refresh rate on the OLED is 90 hertz. That's a huge bump up from 90 hertz. I prefer that and a lower resolution. So if this is like a 60 hertz IPS screen, it's really lacking in the screen department. This is the 512 model. We're comparing to the 512 model of the Steam Deck OLED. It says the OS is going to be a Playtron game OS. So I assume some variant of Linux with SteamOS compatibility. And then we got the Ryzen 7 7840U on the Steam Deck. We have the Zen 2 4-core 8-thread with the 4. So on this one, I'm going to have to do, well, we can do that right now. Let's just do this because I don't remember off the bat or the top of my head what the actual specifications are. So 8-core 16-thread. If we go to the Steam Deck, we're 4-core 8-thread. So we're getting double the amount there. So that's better. And then as far as so we are getting probably a pretty significantly better CPU. I don't know how they're going to fit that in there because isn't this a desktop grade CPU? It's for laptops. I mean, hey, it might run really hot, but at the higher resolution, better CPU, I mean, then the Steam Deck, worse screen, kind of an odd decision there. They're also sticking with Wi-Fi 6E, which I think if you're really trying to, look, I think, honestly, if you're going to do this, I think that you need to target, like Tesla did, the upper end market. This thing needs OLED, 144 hertz, 1920 by 1200 screen with 32 gigabytes of LDDR5X memory, a 1 terabyte hard drive, Wi-Fi 7. Like you need to really come out swinging, right? You just gotta. That's how I see it. Trying to compete on the price point with the Steam Deck, they're already ahead in manufacturing. I just don't think it's a good idea. They're missing the haptics like we talked about. They appear to be missing the touchpads, which is not a great idea. And overall, I'm really just not that impressed. I will try to pick one up for review. The 7840 in a handheld might get really toasty too. I got to take a bio break. I'll be right back. All right. Whew. Yeah, you gotta work on that. I was about to piss my pants. It was tactics. All right. So, I like wrapping this up. I think it needs higher stats. Like, why are you not putting Wi-Fi 7 on a handheld device at this point? I get it. The Steam Deck doesn't have it either, but like, come on. Be luxury, you know? What am I excited for on these things? Honestly, the thing I'm most excited for is going to be blockchain verified game ownership. I've said this for a long time. I don't like the way that basically we license our games to play them. I want to own them. If you give me a way to actually own them on the blockchain, I'm all into that ecosystem. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy all my games. If you can tell me that my ownership is stored on the blockchain and nobody can take that away from me ever, 24/7 for the rest of my life, I can pass those games down to my kid, I'll invest. You know? That's the way I see it. Frogman says it looks like a cool device for sure. Velez says, thank God I managed to download all the NES, SNES, Genesis, and Neo Geo ROMs before Nintendo started taking down sites. Yeah, I mean, I own all those physically too. And then I have the emulators on the Steam Deck. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.